It's a time for package from China. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at the Px4, the retro game console from AliExpress. So it's always like, what are we going to get? They call this thing the multi-retro system in one. Comes with two wireless controllers and, not to forget, it has true 1080p. But so what you're going to get most of the time, I'm just going to be honest, this is like an old school Android box, slapped with a label on it, and they call it a game system. Some run on aliec, some run on some other weird device or kind of software, Linux or something like that. It's kind of weird, sometimes unique, sometimes it's just something they ripped off. But yeah, what are we going to get? So first of all, let's take a close look at the system itself. Let's take a close look at the system itself. So the system itself, look at how tiny this thing is, like absolutely super tiny. So what we're going to get over here is an ER port, AV out, HDMI, Ethernet and a 5V input. Robbie feet is already getting loose. And then at the side we're going to get two USB ports and of course the CF card. Yeah, they call this the TF, but it's basically an SD card. And this is going to be in 64. Ooh, that's quite fancy. Yeah, for ventilation and cooling, it's nothing really special. I'm curious what we're going to get in the inside. We're also going to do a quick teardown. Let's take a close look at the controllers. Because with the controllers, it's always the question, is this thing actually good quality? And first of all, the most important thing, the wicked smell test. Ooh, man, yeah, the smell is really, it's really chemical. But in overall, what you're going to get with this is an okay quality. Like if you're going to give this thing a rating, it would be like something around 6 out of 10 when it comes to the quality. Like it's okay. So the D-pad is very sturdy, the buttons feel cheap, they got okay analog stick, joystick, yes, yeah, not to forget, it's got this nice rubber, or yeah, rubber-ish compound. It's not the best I've seen. It works on just two AAA batteries. Ow! These things are freaking annoying to open. And then of course we're going to get the on and off switch. So yeah, that's it. They're working with a dongle. I don't know where the freaking dongle is. Yoo-hoo! Dangle. Ah, there it is. So two controllers, one freaking dongle. So let's see if it focus. So this is just your typical 2.4 GHz dongle, nothing really fancy. We're going to get a power supply. This is 5V, just a phone charger. We don't have an adapter, or no, didn't come with an adapter this time. We're going to get this weird USB to barrel jack cable. Then we're going to get HDMI, like a very cheap one. The piece of toilet paper that needs to be the metal. It's not freaking even in English. Damn it. But yeah, nevertheless, so let's take a close look at it. Let's plug it in. Let's see how the controllers work. And is this thing even worth your money? Not going to need this. I'm going to need a converter for that. Oh man. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do is boot it up without an SD card, and the reason why is just want to see what happens. And they reflashed the main software. There is no Android box whatsoever on this anymore. So let's plug in the controller just for fun, just to see what happens. I think they reconfigured this, so if everything is correct, let's turn it on. Let's turn it on. Everything goes so great today. Alright, so everything works. But the fun fact, like, there is nothing happening. So let's reboot it and just see what happens. We're going to plug in the controller and of course the SD card. Alright, so when it's booting up, this is what you're going to get, the Px4 retro game console. So they did make this unique intro logo, but when you're waiting for it, let's wait for it, it will show aliec. Okay, let's boot it up. Yep, loading. Or it doesn't show aliec, but it is aliec, we know it for sure. So and now we're going to get the menu here. So let's see if we can mess around with it. Let's take a close look at the menu and just see what we're going to get. But let's take a close look at the menu itself. And what you're going to get is quite fascinating. So first of all, they are not like grabbing an image from the internet and just slapping it on the box and just doing something like that. No, they're actually like bringing something unique, like changing some things. They're still using a kind of piece of software, but they're modifying it, like showing it. It's actually like a game system. I think it's quite interesting in my opinion. Yeah, when it comes to the support, it's the same story with most of these boxes. We have up to PlayStation Portable when it comes to emulators. So I think this would be like something of an like ready to go box. When you're pressing start, there are some things that you can like swap out. You can get maybe into the system itself. So that like tinkering, it is possible, but they set up a lot of stuff for you. And I mean, like they added the emulator, stuff like that. So the only thing that you need to do is like drop your files if you want to, and you're ready to go. Okay, so let's start off with some arcade gaming. And what I do like about this piece of hardware is that we're going to get the option to play, of course, with 2 players. If you're going to get yourself multiple controllers, you basically can go up to 4 players. So when it comes to the gameplay, let's take a close look at that. I wanted to boot up some N64, and sadly you can see like it still has some errors. And the reason I'm showing you this, I just wanted to show you actually like these things, even they're like plug and play, there will be like some tinkering needed sometimes. Some of the boxes they don't, but this one in particular needs some tinkering. Okay, so next up let's try cruising the world, and the reason I wanted to try this because you can see that it struggles and also you can hear it. I hope the camera or microphone picks it up because it's like a little bit of a bummer that N64 in my opinion is just a mess. Like I know like a lot of these cheap boxes will have an issue with this, but a game like this should be running fine. So nope, game not booting up, game are running like shit. No, that is not a good thing. Okay, so I don't want to be negative all the time and just want to show you like what is actually running just fine. So when you're looking at the old stuff, 8-bit, 6-bit stuff, these games will run just fine. So that's pretty cool. But if it is worth picking up stuff like this, that is something you need to decide for yourself. Because nowadays we can play these games on so many different devices. But okay, so the reason I just wanted to show you 2-dimensional games between this. Of course I don't want to be all negative all the freaking time. But when you're going to look into the 3-dimensional, let's say Sega Dreamcast, you can just hear and see again the box itself struggles. And this is not an, let's say, a reconfiguration issue. This is just actually like the device itself doesn't have like not the power to run these the games. Like don't get me wrong, like they are still running like okay with some part, but when it's going to get very crowded on the screen, a lot of stuff is happening. You can see like it drips in frames per second. And that is the problem when it comes to these cheap boxes. This game is okay, but some will push it to the edge and will make a lot of the games basically unplayable. You can just hear it, like it's stuttering like crazy. Okay, so let's take it a step back with the PlayStation 1. And yep, PlayStation 1 is most of the time just playable, even on cheap and low powered boxes. So that will not be the issue today. It's mainly if you're going to get a box like this and they like giving you the option to boot up, let's say PlayStation Portable, Dreamcast, stuff like that. It will not run at all, or not great. And that is I think it's a little bit deceiving. Like you're thinking you're going to get a box that plays a lot, but it basically doesn't do that because it doesn't boot up or we're going to have a lot of issues. But surprisingly you can see like some games will actually run okay when it comes to PlayStation Portable. But the same story goes when you looking at the FPS counter. You can see like it drops all the way down to 50 sometimes. Yeah, and that is what we're going to get mostly with stuff like this. It's playable. I find it quite fascinating to see that they're even running on a device like this, but for me, if it doesn't run full 60 FPS, what's the point? Okay, so I already opened it up. It's only like clicked together. There are no screws whatsoever. The only screws that you can find are in here. And that's what we're going to remove now because I just want to like lift out the main board to see what we're going to get off the back. I just want to see when this thing has been made. And I just want to see like what we're going to get in the end. Okay, so weird thing is like my screws are not getting loose somehow. Oh no, there wasn't a hidden one over there. I didn't see that. Ooh, wicked, naughty boy. Okay guys, so this is what we're going to get in the inside. 2 pieces of plastic, 3 markers and a PCB. Already loosen up this piece of metal that needs to be the cooling. Personally, I'm not a big fan of these things because the board is getting quite hot. Okay, so I did some removing of the thermal paste. So the board itself says the S905W. I don't know if you can read it. But in the end, like this is the same kind of chip series like the Supercon Slicks. We're going to get 2 chips at the front and at the back when it comes to, let's say, memory. Then we're going to get here the Toshiba chip. and I'm thinking this is the storage capacity, if I'm saying it correctly. But overall, there was not a lot of stuff going on with this. I was thinking to see if I maybe can find a production date or whatsoever, but sadly, like, there is no freaking production date, or no, nothing at all. No, so we cannot like say if this thing is an old piece of hardware. Okay guys, so the Px4 game box. I find it quite fascinating piece of hardware. You're looking at like what they did with the software. So basically, like, they did some modifications to make it more like a game system, that you're not like popping out the SD card and you're going to get yourself an Android box. So yeah, the quality of the controllers are quite okay. I played some games with it and it is not really bad. And when it comes to the wireless functionality, it's doing just okay. But okay, so the adapter, I'm just gonna be honest, didn't even use it. I used my own 5-volt adapter, like just a phone charger. But overall, the performance was quite disappointing. And yeah, for the 16-bit like low stuff, it's okay. But when you want to run like some PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 1, it's okay. But you know, like up to PlayStation 1, but then it's like over. Well, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.